You chat the other day? Were you guys right?
I'm tired.
Yeah. That was like
just
stressed out, overwhelmed.
How bad was it?
How bad was what?
It's
How bad
just,
did it hurt?
I've been overwhelmed
pretty
ever
fucking
since June.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Oh, shit.
Where's this coming from?
Definitely feel it.
I gave this artist.
What's the worst one that you have?
Artist Ventura, and he gave it
You wouldn't think that's like a tender spot.
Do you have them on your ribs? Do you have your ribs down? Shoulder blades?
So, Craig.
Someone's
sitting there. Oh, shit. Someone's in there.
What cup you on?
Thanks, Louis. Okay. Cool, man. How you doing?
What's up, bro?
Like, I get notifications.
Johnny Crown.
Louis, somebody sitting here?
That's your spot, isn't it? I don't know. There's a phone there, so maybe.
Yeah, I think that's just Jordan's, yeah. You can sit there, bro.
Jordan that works here?
Yeah. Woody. You can sit there, though. No one's sitting there.
Yeah, we're
You're
here?
for dinner. You can't really sit where you want.
Yeah.
Dinner.
Oh, no, I wasn't.
What?
Sitting where I wanted.
Oh no, he was there.
Yeah.
Johnny Crown, how's work?
Praise the Lord. We did some wealthy couple on Broad Beach's house.
Mountains.
A lot of work, bro.
Yeah.
Plants are no joke, especially these giant 7-foot tall plants.
You want to sit here? Go ahead.
So what happened? How'd I get on Reflections?
Just right here in the
So I missed
Hello.
I missed dinner. 'Cause I was working with
Do you
dinner.
remember where we were at?
So, like,
I
put you
don't
on
have my
flexions?
book. I didn't
This-
make
oh,
a phone yet.
I don't know if that's why though. It could have been
People sitting
another
there.
reason. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't
I wasn't
know.
here for dinner. I don't know.
Caleb, do you know what happened? Was it because
People sitting here.
Did you tell me
Roll around and meet.
you were late to group this morning.
Oh yeah, that's right.
How are you, Paul? Good, man. What's up with you, man? Progressing or what?
What was that?
Progressing?
Every day, man.
That's what's up, bro.
Every day.
I love to
What
hear
page
that.
were we on, Billy?
On page 75.
75
stuff.
or 76.
75. Bottom,
I'm Johnny, by the way. Nice to meet you both.
I'm Gabby.
Hey, Joe and Abby.
Gabby.
Oh, hey,
good?
Johnny.
Johnny.
Yeah.
Do I know everybody?
Joe.
Joe.
Gabby.
Hi, Gabby. Good to meet you.
name, bro?
Love.
What's up?
I don't know who said that. It sounds like a joke.
You know how you can
Because it's shiny and red.
Showing up.
You're so Cali, bro.
Oh, fuck this. Yeah, me too.
I don't think I'm going to.
75 today?
It's a little bear. It's a little huggy bear.
I got the paper on the bottom and say,
It's a little huggy bear.
No, because the delinquent in his own coin was 75, so probably. We left off.
Real
with
score,
Scotch
we're coming
It's
in.
not evil.
Huh?
yeah, I don't remember reading Resist Not Evil, so I think that's where we're at.
I'm gonna squash between those.
Oh, you're saying I'm a big boy.
Big boy.
Not involved with us, right? I just want to feel guilty.
How's your day, Sam?
What happened?
Beautiful. I spent the afternoon with my daughter.
No,
That's awesome.
For
Took
being
her
late to morning.
shopping. She wanted to spend her allowance and
What's up,
some
broski?
crafting gifts.
Good to see you,
I was
man.
like, you're not spending your money, I'm buying you whatever the fuck you want. She's like, Daddy,
What up,
this is
man?
what my allowance is
Is
for.
that supposed to be an insult?
And I just want to die of pride and fucking joy. And
What's up?
I just want to cry every time I look at her.
Oh, that's awesome. How old is she?
6.
Your daughter 6?
That's cool.
She's fucking awesome.
Enjoy every second, bro. That's his bike.
I'm trying. I'm aware that it's going quickly, but it's like I can't be any more present than I am. I'm just like
Right there.
drinking it in.
Yeah. My daughter just turned 10. Goes by quick, bro.
A decade. You were exactly
You look
under.
peaceful.
She's my
You look peaceful.
she's my
I do?
year's sobriety gift.
Yeah, I guess I just got in from work. So. How are you?
24th.
Peaceful.
Yeah.
Sober on the 3rd.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's her birthday, then it's my wedding anniversary, then it's
I guess we're gonna start. Are we missing
2
people?
weeks, because then there's Valentine's Day. Yeah. It's a whole list of days.
All right, this time, my name's Billy. I'm an alcoholic. Welcome to the Monday night sermon on the Mount meeting. I'm going to go over all the we won't call them rules, guidelines, all the guidelines so that no one's confused. So, one, we read through this book a paragraph at a time. The person who reads can share if they don't want to. They don't have to. Anyone else can share. We try to keep the shares a topic, but if you got a vent, that's cool. We start off with a 4-minute meditation, and we silence all our outer world devices.
Do you want me to be timer?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you. We try to keep the amount of shares to around 5 so that we don't have ball hogs like sharing all the time. And when you do want to share, you need to raise your hand and be called on. And just say your name so we all get to know you. And if you don't want to share and you get called on, just say your name so we know who you are and pass. There's got to be more guidelines than that. Is that it?
It's chaos time.
We have a chaos at the end of the meeting for 10 minutes. It's chaos. So whoever wants to share or whatever and crosstalk and all that stuff. We really try to be respectful. So if you are going to crosstalk,
You guys can sit here.
If you are going to crosstalk, please keep it respectful, so we don't hurt anybody's feelings or, That's it. So can you start us off? Or can we start a meditation? 4 minutes?
How many? Okay.
Joe and Gabby, you want to sit here? No, if I was on a date, I'd want to sit on the couch. I'll just sit
No,
down.
no, we're good. You're good.
No.
You're good.
Okay.
Not on a
No, I feel like you guys can sit here. I can sit down. Whatever.
Okay, we're on page 75, last paragraph.
Recap or what?
You guys want to recap?
Well, we're talking about resentments and how to let go of resentment.
What?
Pretty much. Resentments and letting go of resentments. There were questions about how to let go of resentments. We're talking about resentments. One of the main things in the paragraph I remember was the line where it said you will have to lose him.
I'll put down 75.
75. You are to loose him and let him go, for thus only can you be freed yourself. Thus only can you possess your own soul. And it says to return evil for evil, to answer violence with violence, and hate with hate, to start a vicious circle to which there is no ending, but the wearing out of your own life and your brother's too. So from there, that was the end of that paragraph. From there, we went on to talk about resentments and how to let go of resentments. And there was questions online about how do we let go of resentments. I think Tim asked how we let go or master resentment, and I read from the book.
Tim doesn't have resentments.
But he asked a question.
Not as many.
That's my recap. What I remember from
So-
last week.
My recap is, well, it's not really a recap. It's just one thing that I just read that I'm realizing is pretty cool. Hey, what's up? I recognize. Oh yeah, you've been here before.
Yeah.
What was your name again?
Brett.
Brett.
Nice
He
to
has
Welcome,
his-
brother. I like thinking about I almost feel like sometimes, especially when you share, it's like a movie. I love movies and visuals. I like to think of like the old time, like when this shit was written. Like it's like shit was so different, and I can sort of envision like, you know, like the moccasins and the way they dressed and the stone. It was just so different, you know. It's old. I mean, we're talking what, like these
30s.
the 30s.
Started 2,000 years ago.
Oh, but no, I'm talking about like even before that.
Oh,
Like,
I'm
when-
thinking I'm holding the big book. Sorry. This is way
It's
back.
like way long ago. And it says Jesus is the most revolutionary of all teachers. He turns the world upside down for those who accept his teaching. When once you have accepted the Jesus Christ message, nothing is ever the same again. Because at the time it was like barbaric. And he came up and he was like, wait, eye for an eye, like that's crazy. I mean, at the time he was saying it was actually crazy. People were like, what are you talking about? It's supposed to be like law and order. Like we're supposed to do unto others as they do unto us. Like we're supposed to be, and it's just, I mean, this idea of like bring love where there's hate, like now is like way more accepted than it was then. Like then he was like saying this shit. They were like, you're fucking crazy, dude. This dude just stole my horse. He's going to die for it. That's the way it's supposed to
Cut his
be.
hand off.
Yeah. And he came around and he was like, dude, you guys are tripping. It's not supposed to be this way. So
Also,
regardless of whether I'm Christian or I believe in Jesus, it doesn't really, that's not the point. Like, I don't care about that. What is being said here is dope because it could change the way I see everything. Like I'm not going to share about what just happened with this kid, but like I can apply this to everything I do in my life. So
Thanks, Pat. So we read clockwise, and we're going to start with Jordan, if that's okay, because I always go to my left and the same people always read. So it's bottom of 75, last paragraph on 75.
Okay, this doctrine Now resist not evil is the great metaphysical secret. To the world, those who do not understand, it sounds like moral suicide. The thieves surrender to aggression, but in the light of the Jesus Christ revelation, it is seen to be superb spiritual strategy. Antagonize any situation and you give it power against yourself. Offer mental non-resistance and it crumbles away in front of you.
So deep.
So if you want to share, you can. If you want to pass or wait, that's cool too.
I'll share a little bit. I'm working on changing the narrative, and I'm Jordan. I'm an alcoholic.
Jordan.
And I always antagonize the situation, and that I can relate to, that giving the situation a ton of power, but in the end, it just tears me down. Now, like I said, I'm trying to change the narrative. So if I don't feed into something negative, it's not even a situation anymore. If that makes sense, I don't know. That's kind of what I got out of that. Still learning. That's all I have.
Thanks, Jordan.
Yeah, Tim.
Tim, what's up? It kind of okay. Here we go. It kind of feels real physical or like realistic when you think about it in terms of like it's been a really long time since I've been in a fight, but I used to think about this when like somebody says something to you and you actually want to get in a physical fight, even on the seldom few that I actually like won. Like, even if you win the fight physically, it's still like your whole night's still ruined because now your boys, you're all aggro. You're like talking about what happened. Like, you're now not even, you're losing out on the girl you're chasing around because now you're just like all in your head. Like, your night gets thrown completely off, even in the victory of the physical win, right? And if you just like, nah, I'm not fighting, there's like a second where you like feel like, oh, like, I've been in a position where like a guy like at a bar like slapped my girlfriend's ass and it's like, kind of a fighting situation, but it's also like let it go, and like me and her carried on, and like she still loved me, and we won. Not fighting was the win, so it's kind of like a real physical representation of that, and the same thing mentally. That's it.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm Johnny. I'm an alcoholic.
So,
Attempting to be Christian character. Man. Yeah, dude, antagonize any situation and you give it power against yourself. So a long time ago, 2015, I was in a really dark place. And long story short, there was this little black Vietnam vet who used to come by my dwelling tent. And he would always say, he was on his way to the midnight mission. He would say, Crump, you do what you did, you're going to get what you got. And there I was doing what I would do, getting what I would get. And he said, if you get what you got, you get what you got. And I said, man. And then one day he came by, he's like, you're going to let go or you're going to get dragged. And another thing, he came by with a pillow and some ramen noodles and Obama phone. And he put the Gospel of Matthew on YouTube, and I fell asleep listening to it. And, I didn't get sober that day, but he planted the seed that later on would come into my life to where anything that I like or dislike about somebody else on a long enough timeline, I can see that I like or dislike it about myself, Like pride, ego. When somebody else overshares, it's because I overshare. I can see that. When somebody else does something that I don't like, it's usually something that I've either done at a different age or in my 20s or early 30s, or something that I'm doing now that I resent in myself, And I'm starting to see that the more days I get sober, like away from my last using, it's like I can't really hold on to a resentment if I look at like, have I ever lied to try and impress somebody? Have I ever cheated? Have I ever stolen? It's like, I don't know. It helps me with resentments. Thank you.
Thanks, Johnny.
mm-hmm.
Anyone?
Carter's got to stand up.
Yes, please.
Carter alcoholic.
Carter.
One thing that really kind of spoke to me here is to the world, those who do not
For those who do not understand, it sounds like moral suicide. That was like me in a nutshell with like all my thinking when I was out there, and still to this day, it's like something I'm like really working on here, because my best thinking wants me to just do anything to protect my pride. Do anything to protect my name, whatever, protect whatever I'm protecting. And I'll get into fights, I'll do whatever I gotta do, just act like a fool. And it's not gotten me anywhere. And it says the feeblest surrender to aggression. And that's like the biggest thing I think right now in my life that I need to do. I just need to surrender to this process, even this house, the people in it, the program, and then maybe I'll survive it, But until I do that, I'm just gonna keep going around in circles, doing the same old stupid shit. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thanks.
I'll share. Billy Alcoholic.
Billy.
So this paragraph to me is powerful because I use this and it just works so incredibly well because, basically anything you say to me, I fight it and I resist. And I'm like, what the fuck do you know? Why are you telling me? It doesn't even matter how petty it is or whatever. But an example of this for me recently is with my ex. So she did some shit, and she did some shit for a long time that was fucked up. And finally, when it all blew up, I just kind of surrendered, and I had justified reasons to hate and fight not only her, but the other people involved. And I just didn't. And it was really surprising that I had no anger. So I come from a place where it's like, fuck the world to my core and I'll die a martyr kind of thing. And to switch to like this, you really fucked me, but I forgive you and I love you. And you may have fucked my whole life up, but I forgive you and I love you is just like a dramatic change. And I was thinking this last night. I even wrote something down last night at like 3 a.m. I woke up and I had to write it down. There's only 2 relationships in any individual's life, and it's them and a higher power. So anything you do, any decision, anything that happens to you is your decision. It's not the people irritating you or your parents, or it's always me, because I have a decision to react, think, respond, get pissed, forgive. And it just benefits me to forgive and to not get angry. Like, it's not easy, but the only person that suffers is me from my thinking and my actions. So basically, other people don't even exist really in the universe of Billy. It's Billy and Billy's decisions and a higher power. And I think for me, I need the higher power to forgive and to trust and depend on that things are going to be okay and that I don't have to fight and scrape and compete. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I really love this offer mental non-resistance, and it crumbles away in front of you. And I've just, time and time again, that's the case. And so my job and my big struggle is to actually not resist. That's it, thanks.
Can I go real quick?
Yeah. What's your name?
Brett. Alcoholic.
Yeah,
Brett.
Yeah, I got a very overworked mind, as we probably all do in this room. I always struggle between two big things. It's forgiveness and serenity, and I think of forgiveness as like what came first, the chicken or the egg kind of thing. You got me just thinking about it a little bit, and it's like the forgiveness part. Do you feel the forgiveness, and then do you forgive, or do you forgive and then you feel the forgiveness? And I struggle every freaking day with this stuff to let go of people, what they've done to me, what I've done to them. Because I've been in that place of feeling actually like I'm good. Sometimes I don't know how I get there, but I just struggle back and forth. Trying to figure out how to forgive, I guess. And it kind of plays out in being serene or finding that serenity. It's like, do I try to find that serenity? Or am I trying too hard to find that serenity? I'm not being serene.
Hmm.
I freaking struggle with this all the time. So, those are two big things that I think Jesus, his life, has shown us in this book. I've only read a little bit here and there with being at this group, but I think that's like the ultimate message of what Jesus came here to do, to show us, is to forgive and accept. I'm just trying to figure it out. Yeah, so I'll leave it at that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, Sam.
Go ahead, Abby.
Oh.
I'm sure.
Ooh.
Abby, alcoholic.
Hey, how are you?
The line that stuck out to me, it says, antagonize any situation and you give it power. I spend about 80% of my day today in my disease, and it just, like, looking back on it, I was giving all the wrong situations so much power. I believed the lie. It started off with, I believed the lie that if I could just have this one pill, everything in front of me is going to get organized. And like Pat was like, that's literally insane. Like, it just was. And like, I just had to talk about it. But it really, this just has me thinking, like, I chose to give those things power, and I just cried all day, and I was like a mess, and I was yelling and screaming at people about like chores. And it's just like, I have the choice to give those things power, so why am I doing that? And I made it harder for myself. I just thought about the craving, and I was like, oh, this will just fix everything. And it just wasn't true, and it's just the allergy coming back. But then, so I read this sentence, and it says, any situation, you give it power. It's like, yeah, I want to give those things power. Like, I'm mad. You made me mad. I'm going to give that power because it's all about me. But then when I continue to read, it says, you give it power against yourself. I wasted so much of my time in that negative energy today when I could have been helping out someone, or while helping out someone, I could have learned something. So it really does. I just need to be more vigilant in where I allow myself to give certain things power, because I have to constantly remind myself that my primary purpose is to help another alcoholic and be the light of God. So that's kind of what I'm working on and dealing with. So thanks.
Thanks, Sally.
So I'm alcoholic.
Sam?
Yeah, Abby just made me think that, I'm that thing that, like, rage feels like taking control back when I'm in powerlessness. This is a great paragraph, and I used to use this analogy a lot with sponsees about drugs and alcohol, but it really applies to all the things that we're talking about, including our thoughts and feelings. But the analogy is basically that we can all agree, even in 2021, I cannot win a fight with Mike Tyson. Not for 3 seconds, not going to win. The harder pill to swallow is that he can't win a fight with me if I'm more than an inch outside of arm's reach. Meaning that the things over which I'm completely powerless only have power over me the degree to which I engage with them. And if I disengage with them, they have absolutely zero power over me. In this kind of mental non-resistance, watching things crumble away, I had some, I came into AA with some big resentments and some big stuff and some, how am I going to ever become, I would meditate on this guy who was like, so what, who cares? And I would see this future version of myself and be like, I want to become that guy. And I would see him standing there and all this like peace and freedom, just like, yeah, who cares? Get on with life. Who cares? And the two words that will always U-turn me back into that jail cell are, yeah, but. And the thing is, whenever a sponsee or anyone says to me, or when I find myself saying, but the thing you have to understand is, I'm about to advocate for my alcoholism. That's all I'm doing. Nothing after the thing you have to understand is anything you need to understand. It's completely irrelevant. It's just, no, but if you just hear the thing, you'll get why I'm going to stay mad forever. So what, who cares? So what, who cares? That's it.
Thanks, Sam.
Paul, alcoholic.
Hey, Paul.
My sponsor used to tell me, he says it if I go off on the deep end to this day. The light switch is either on or off. Well, he would use from the phrase from the big book, God either is or he isn't. So either I'm in the problem or I'm in the solution. Anything other than that, if I'm not in the solution, I'm agitating, I'm antagonizing the situation. If I'm in the problem, it says, antagonize any situation, you give it power against yourself. If I'm not in the solution, I'm victim to anything that I want to put in front of myself. It goes all back on me. If I antagonize any situation, I used to do that too. I would say, I'll forgive you, but if you won't do it again, not just forgive you and let it go. I'm still holding on. I'm still antagonizing the situation. If you do it again, I'm going to fuck you up. I just forgave you now. Don't fuck up again. Instead of just being a good person and letting it go. That's still being in the problem. I'm anticipating for you to fuck me over again so I could put hands on you. And I did that a lot. I expected you to fuck up again. I couldn't live by this way because I was stuck in the problem. And that's the problem I had with myself. So I could really, truly learn to forgive. This just comes to life when you read this. Antagonize any situation and you give it power against yourself. Offer mental non-resistance and it crumbles away in front of you. I could have just forgave these people instead of antagonizing the situation and anticipating that person to fuck up because I wanted to put hands on them in the first place. But as this thing rolls on and as I study this even more and try to practice it to the best of my ability, I try to live this way of life. Like I said last week, I'd rather, it says to free him. I'd rather, and like it says at the beginning of this chapter, the soul's integrity is the only thing that matters. It's better to just lose that problem in your life than to antagonize the situation. That's why I've cut people off. If I think you're going to fuck me twice or 3 times, I'd rather just let go and be free of you. Seriously, from this. Or I'm going to go insane. I'll go to jail over somebody. Seriously. I haven't been in a fight in over 10 years, but built up aggression gets a hold of somebody, I might fucking kill somebody. Seriously. I used to be a real violent person. I have to live this way of life. It says, any situation you give it power, I won't have no power if I'm locked up under somebody else's control. In order to live my life, I gotta be a free man. And in order to be a free man, I might have to free myself of anything that's blocking me from going straight. So I have to learn to forgive, and I have to say I have. It isn't perfect, but going back to these pages, I know I have to let go of people if I have to. Better that than me losing everything. It's that easy. For a person like me, violence is like second nature. So I gotta live, like it says in the book, I have to kill the old Adam. The person, that's 4 minutes?
Mhm.
All right, well, I gotta let it go. That's it.
God, there's so many things I want to share about. I don't even know where to start. First, like when you're sharing, I just like laugh because I am like, our friend Dane used to like come by and like he would play songs, and I always like laugh. That's so fucking weird. That's why I have to bring up Dane. Now I'm emotional. Like that.
Yeah.
I laugh because I'm like, there's something I do this. I did like the same thing to a certain degree. I mean, I have some more time, so I think I can. I don't think about using. I don't go to rage as often, but I can. I do to a lesser degree than I did 10 years ago. I was just thinking about how like we agitate this situation by like taking drugs. And like for me, like my stomach, I have this acid reflux thing, and I just like drink the coffee. I agitate it. Like we agitate our situation, but it's really, and the same thing goes for rage and think it's like we're making it worse, but really what we're trying to do is fix the problem temporarily. All this stuff is us trying to fix a problem temporarily. Like even like fueling the fire, like I also think there's a certain degree of like just like wanting chaos in our life. Like he's been trying to tell me that for a long time. Billy, my sponsor, he's like, I want chaos in my life. Right?
Yeah, or maybe you don't, not consciously.
It's like it's almost like a like we create like drama. We agitate the shit. Just what are we doing? Maybe it's just all we know how to do. I just was thinking about this resist not evil. So I guess this is kind of a question because I feel like sometimes I read this shit and I know we all understand what they're saying. Like, don't think about the problem. Don't like lean into the shit. Just like let it kind of roll off. Like this phrase, the water off a duck's ass thing. That's been like a phrase that's been coming up a lot lately. We don't have to give it power, right? And then this idea of like we give everything all the meaning that it is. I get that part of it. But sometimes if I go deeper with the thing, there's like more. So it says, resist not evil. Resist not? Are they saying like don't resist evil?
It's like saying don't be afraid to go into a bar if you're not drinking.
So resist
don't run from
not. Yeah, don't run from evil. Like almost like let it just happen. And then it says, is the great metaphysical secret to the world. Those who do not understand. So the world, so it's the secret. So to the world, those who do not understand, it sounds like moral suicide. So like basically what they're saying is like the world doesn't understand this concept. Like just to kind of just let the shit happen and just not really give it any airtime, no matter what it is. It seems like moral suicide. the feeblest surrender to aggression. So it's words like feeble and meek. Like those are like kind of bitch words,
Dude,
right?
I think we should bring up feeblest because I kind of don't know
they're
what
like
feeblest.
mousy words.
Who could
feeble? You know what I mean? Like,
who could shed some light on feeblest?
I'll look it up. I'll get the definition.
But
If it's your ability, raising your hands and like wait for your share.
But like, my point is, we can look up the definition. I know it's a mousy word, right? It's like meek, humble. Like these are words that are like not tough guy words. You know what I'm saying? Those are the words we're supposed to be. You know, like when the girl hit your girlfriend's ass, like when he hits her ass, like the man is like not just letting that slide. But if we have this meekness thing, we can just like let it slide. And that's like the tougher thing to do.
I think Tim had his hand up first and then Sam.
It was just a formally request that we look up.
You want I don't know if I'm gonna waste a share on this though.
I'll share on it as soon as it's read.
I'll take my second share on it. Fuck it.
All right.
Feeble.
So then it's Paul, then Tim, and then Sam.
Lacking physical strength, especially as a result of age or illness.
Mousy.
Yeah.
But so
Weak.
So it seems weird.
Weak.
That seems it's a little weird because it's saying the feeblest as a positive thing.
Yeah.
But saying the world doesn't understand because it's true. Like we don't. Even our like default setting is we don't understand. Our default setting is the animal instinct that like gets us in trouble. We have like the two sides of us. The one that's like, you know, that understands love and like compassion and all that shit. But like the animal instinct survival side is just like, oh, you cross me, I'm crossing you back. Paul definitely is crossing somebody back. You know, old Paul.
Old Paul, hell yeah.
But so and then it's saying, but the feeblest is the positive thing. So that's crazy. I guess it's just like if you truly understand that, like I don't know, being gentle. I kind of don't understand a little bit.
Strength to be gentle.
Yeah, like just not
mercy.
But it's true. I think that the one thing I can share on for sure is like I think all of us have it the side of our brain that is just fucking you come at me, I'm coming at. That's like what the instinct is. Come at me, I'm coming at you. Just as hard.
I think Sam's next.
Oh, yeah.
Did you still want to share?
And if you have any light to shed on feeble, I'm still trying to figure this
Well,
one out.
only
Not the definition, but like
No, I understand. I mean,
So-
like I'm just reading it, and forgive me if this is repetitious, but I what it says to me is resist not evil, and if you to those that don't understand, it sounds like what we're saying is lean into evil, embrace evil. But what it's saying is by resisting evil, you are engaging with it. By leaning in, you're engaging with it. What we're saying is very simply, don't engage. Just let it, just like with the thoughts that you find take you down a hole of resentment, you can be like, oh, I tried that one before and it felt like shit. I'm just going to watch it fly by. Instead of having to wrestle to the ground everything that comes into your sphere, you can just allow a sort of equanimity to it where it is or it isn't, it's there or it's not. I am not engaging. So to your question, it sounds like a state of weakness, but actually it's the strength gained through, I'm going to get on with my life instead of getting dragged around by the stuff that is meaningless to me. And that's what that's it.
That would be antagonizing.
Thanks, Sam. Did you want to share, Johnny?
Yeah, what a trip, man. Thank you, Sam. You're like a little Yoda.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we can crosstalk or whatever. Well, yeah, we can because we're doing the feeble thing.
Just be respectful.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about, just learning definitions. Like feeble, I think of like an elderly old man. Meek just means close to the earth. So when Jesus said, blessed are the poor in spirit, they will be comforted. Those who mourn will have, blessed are those who cry now, for they shall laugh. Like he also said, in my father's house are many mansions. And if you think about that, he said, my father's house, right? A house is smaller than a mansion. And later on in the Bible, we find out in Mark that the house is the temple of the Lord is the human. So when he left us all with this Holy Spirit. And then in the world, there's this Luciferian spirit. So there's really, and we can see that in science too, with like light matter and dark matter, black holes, supernovas. There's like a yin and a yang that just exists on a molecular level. Like the greatest historians, scholars of all time all agree that the Christ existed. The secular debate is if he rose from the dead. So we know that the Christ existed, and Jewish historians, they all agree that he existed. I choose to believe that a guy that dope could walk the earth, and that if you were that dope, God would raise you up. And like it's just a dope story regardless, But I choose to believe it because why the fuck not? It's like, what if I'm wrong and then I go to hell because he was like, dude, I'm telling you, I was like half Holy Spirit. Of course I'm coming back, because I mean, it's just on a molecular level, and I am kind of ADD on this one. Like it's like 23 chromosomes from your mom and 23 from your dad to make a human. Jesus had 23 from Mary, and then his dad's the Holy Spirit. So like he could do anything because he's half spirit. I mean, that's really dope, I don't know wwhere I was going with that.
He's so close.
It's just I'm tired.
I love it.
Sorry.
Madison, addict, alcohol.
Madison.
So a lot of you guys, I heard like forgiveness, and a lot of what we're talking about, and like I tend to have a really hard time forgiving myself. Like that's what I'm struggling with. I tend to forgive others way too easily. Maybe it's my codependency and just like being way, I don't know, like, but people constantly screw me over and I let them back into my lives because I'm looking for some love and acceptance, I think, in all these outside areas. But like for me, like, and what's been holding me back for like the last few years is not forgiving myself, dude, and like letting go of my resentments that I have to me, and my aggression ends up being more, putting a needle in my arm and just hurting myself. And I can't break. I haven't been able to let go of that. And I think for just so long, I've been searching it in outside things. And even when I've had everything, like all the perfect job, the perfect relationship and all that, I was still not able to fully appreciate it. And not able to stay sober, still like hurting myself. And then my aggression comes out to my loved ones who want to help me. And then my head, I go crazy, and it's more self-harm than it is like outside people. It's easy for me to let people in, and that's stupid because I'm like, and the people who I'm letting in, it's like, if they want to be around me, they must be messed up in the head too. Because like, who would want to be around me as I'm like in that state all the time? So I'm every day, like, it's just, is what stuck out to me a lot. We were talking about forgiving others and letting go of resentment. I need to do that within myself because I just keep myself locked in this jail within my heart and within me, and then I can't move forward. So then I'm just in this cycle of insanity and destroying my life, maybe getting back on my feet again, but then blowing it all up again, and I just wish that I know it's going to take time, and I want to reach that sense of like freedom, because I could do that with people. I could let other people not affect me, but it's more with me and what I do that pisses me off, and then I blow things out of proportion and I do really crazy stuff, running from myself. So that I know is one of my biggest hurdles, and what I try to do is, and getting closer to God, and knowing that He did make me perfect, or whatever, and trying to be more spiritual in the light of God. But when you just feel like such a dark person and feel like such a shitty person, how do you, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. Still newly sober and all that, but yeah, I'm learning how to just try to let go of my own resentments with myself. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to share, but yeah, I'm having a hard time. So this non-resistance, resist not evil thing, really, to me, it seems to tie in with open-mindedness and ego, because in my opinion, an open mind is maybe my opinion's wrong, or maybe my opinion doesn't matter, and that means maybe you're right. And even though you just pissed me off, maybe you're right. And then the ego part is like, I don't even care if you're right. Fuck you. And then alcoholism, Pat fucked me up with that, because now we've changed the definition of what that is. But
we just got back to the truth of it.
Yeah, and so, being open-minded is so essential and so crucial to me, and it's like it kind of jives with non-resistance, because I just really think I'm right about just about everything. And I gotta think, where did that come from? Well, I just decided I was right because I think I'm right. There's nothing really backing that up. There's no real evidence except for my own evidence that I made up in my head.
No battery. No battery. No battery.
And in prime time, they would say this a lot, or maybe just in AA in general. It's like the newcomer comes to the sponsor and says, oh, this and that and everything, and it's all fucked up. And then the sponsor asks the sponsee, where'd you get that information? And the sponsee's like, from me. Basically saying that you don't fucking know what you're talking about, and your head's talking to you, and your head's wrong. So just shut up, put the ego aside, have an open mind. Maybe other people, I don't know, it's like a struggle, with everybody, and there it is, it's a struggle with everybody. There's the resistance. I don't know why I think that I'm right about everything and superior in every way, but if I really want to be honest, that's where I'm coming from. I guess it's selfishness and self-centeredness is the root of my problem, right? If you ask me logically, I don't think I'm superior to everyone else, but I act that way, and I think that way, unless I'm aware of what's going on in my head, and then I have to question everything. Is that right? Is that wrong? God, can you show me the truth? And it sort of aids in the non-resistance, because if I can see that I'm probably wrong, Astrid used to say this all the time. She would say, just about every thought that runs across my mind, something like this, I'm misquoting it, is wrong. And just to even know that I'm possibly wrong, probably wrong, most likely wrong. And I really like what you said, Sam, because it kind of turned it around. It's like, you think rage, you feel empowered. Like, I'm going to fuck this fool up because they wronged me, right? But really, power is the power to do what's best for everybody involved, which would not be fucking that person up, and further, not even getting upset. It doesn't even bother me. Like Pat says sometimes, if you had no ego, none of this shit would bother you, right? Like a humble person just wouldn't be bickering over chores or whatever, or what that person said, or the politics and hierarchy of everything.
Time ski.
Okay. Anyone want to share?
Can I go one? You haven't shared it. Really quick though. Every time you talk, I just it's great to be here. It's great to be sober right now. I think it comes from being wrong. To me, is I'm gonna perish off of this earth. I'm wrong. I'm defeated. Somebody's gonna dominate me. someone's gonna have more power. I feel like deep down, maybe a lot of the other guys here, I'm a fucking caveman. I'm primal as hell inside, but I fight that every day. I want to fight people. I played professional sports for 8 years. I like traveled the world. I fed off of competition every freaking day. On the field, at practice, somebody's gonna take your spot. Like I lived in Costa Rica when I was 18. I played soccer professionally. I mean, this is the thing though. It's like it's crazy because I go back to this. There's guys out there. I was very lucky to be raised in LA, good family, everything. I went into an environment where I wanted to play because it was my passion. I didn't need to be there. There were guys fighting for contracts in order to feed their families. So, like literally able to make enough money to put food on their table for their family. So when I say like perish, being wrong, not feeling like you need to be better than somebody, all that stuff, it's real tough for me and probably a lot of us because we that's why we go to war, right? We want to dominate, we want to win, we want to be the right one. I think war isn't it about being the right one? I don't know where I'm going with that. That kind of went off topic real quick. But I think we just all probably have this deep down, and I was just gonna share this real quick. I saw this guy over Woodland Hills off Ventura Topanga cut 5 people off going this way. Just could have caused an accident. He was in his nice expensive car. Could have ran 5 people off the road today. First thing in my head that goes, I said, if that guy did that to my grandmother and she was driving a car, I would track his ass down and beat his ass. I'd get out of my car and beat his ass. And then I remember something my sponsor said to me. We can get addicted to anything. Anger is like a real easy thing to get addicted to. It's a chemical reaction in our brain. Just like anything, a text message. Like we have so many of these chemical reactions that are fired off in our mind that we can get addicted to. And you know, it just I'm a little scatterbrained, but the point is the anger and this primal thing and the compete and to be better and not to go down is always a struggle in order to, I guess, release that and just be, you know, without the fear of not being anybody. I think that's what I'm trying to go after at least. It's hard, man. It's hard. So I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate that.
Hi, I'm Louis, alcoholic. I think the biggest thing I've learned from this week is my mind's wrong, and it tells me lies every single day. And I have to learn that my ego is the worst thing of me. I get in the way of myself of getting better. And change is uncomfortable. But I have to surrender to the house and the program because it works.
Right on, bro. Good share, Louis. I just want to say one thing real quick. The place where I want to be, I feel like I kind of am there, especially when it comes to driving, because usually I'm the guy doing crazy shit on the road. When I see that happen, I just go, oh shit, like he must have had something really important to do. And that's how we can change how we see it. Yeah. Maybe what if this dude was going to save a life? I don't fucking know.
Being open-minded.
It's just like always all about me, and I'm always looking at I don't know.
Sam, I got it. Yeah, just on that, like, I try and remember that traffic is only as annoying as I am late. And that if I leave early, like, I go to the 101 and the 405, the line to the 405 from the 101 is always bad.
Always.
So to be surprised by the fact that it's bad is fucking insane. But like, if I leave early, I get there and I'm like, I just kick back, I turn up the music, or I put on a podcast or whatever, and I enjoy how angry everyone else is by how fucking late they are. But if I'm late, it's everyone else's fault, and I want to fucking set off a nuke just to show how fucking, my indignation is proven right. And it's just, so it's again, it's a choice to how I want to see the world. And I wanted to share something before that came up, and now my mind is blank. Hold the fuck on 1 second. Fucking bullshit.
Don't resist it, man.
I'm trying chasing it away. I'm just going to cross share really quickly. This wasn't what I was going to say, but I thought about it. My inability to forgive myself and my ability to forgive other people too easily is the same thing. It's driven by the idea that I must be at fault. Summertime.
Is that 2 or 4?
That wasn't me.
Oh.
No.
It wasn't me.
Oh.
It was an accidental one.
Yeah, I mean, my train of thought's gone all over the place anyway. It's all good. I'm out.
Forgive me because my brain is just gone today, so I don't remember people's names. So I'm just gonna point fingers.
Jose.
Hey, Jose. I knew that. I just wasn't 100%.
Who's here to listen today?
All right, thanks, Jose. Caleb.
What's up, Billy?
Hey.
All right, man. Caleb, I'm an alcoholic. What were we talking about? I was upstairs.
We were talking about stuff in this book. Just you can share if you don't want to. That's fine.
I'm good for right now. If I hear something that pops up, I'll raise my hand.
Cool. Guy on the very end. Yeah. I'm sorry. My name. Remember, is just not. It's been erased.
What's up, Daniel?
So
you want to share about anything?
not really.
All right.
You know what we're talking about?
Yeah. Would you share?
Sure. I'm Gabby. I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Gabby.
Sorry, I almost just had a panic attack about Zoom. I was supposed to speak tonight on the Zoom, and I had someone cover it, and they couldn't get the password, and I put my phone on silent. But they're in, so we're good. It's nice to be here. Thanks for letting us come. The reading was very interesting. I haven't really thought about this stuff in a while, like violence or fighting or anything, because I just avoid that stuff. Like, it's my people pleasing. I avoid it so much. But earlier in my sobriety, I would get so like riled up about every little thing. Someone would give me a look wrong, and I would like get so hurt by it. Like, so I get like hurt. I don't really get angry. I just get like sad and like anxious and like I don't even know. But I just got 4 years sober like last month.
Nice.
Thank you. And I don't really feel like all these crazy emotions anymore. I don't know. The reading was all you guys' shares were really good. I liked what you said about my higher power and me and I are the only people or the only things I have, the only things that I'm gonna leave this earth with. And I've really just worked hard to cultivate a relationship with myself, especially. I've always kind of had a relationship with that higher power, but with myself, like I just always hated myself. I didn't know myself. I got sober when I was 20, and I was just like basically 13 in the head. And yeah, this is kind of off topic, sorry.
It's all good.
But yeah, I liked that. And when I have resentments today, what do? I still get really like anxious and stuff about it, and I've just been trained to like pray for the other person, pray for the other side of the situation. And I don't know, I just like really, really trust my higher power these days. And I just know that everything's always going to be okay because of all the crazy shit that I've had to deal with in sobriety and that I use my higher power to get through. I've just had so much proof about it working, and I'm just really grateful for all of them. I'm so grateful for AA and spiritual, my higher power, basically. And this is a cool book, so thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, you want to share?
I got something, Billy. Caleb, alcoholic.
Hey, Caleb.
So we've been talking a lot about like resentments and revenge and all this. And in the last month, I've been living on the kind of like the opposite spectrum of that, right? So I've been shown grace instead of anger. I've been shown love where hate could have been shown, right? And in that, I've been living in a lot of fear through all that. Fear that what if I get kicked out on Canaan and have to walk somewhere? Fear of what if I fuck up somehow, some way here? What if I don't live up to an expectation? But something that Pat told me a while ago that really stuck with me. I was sitting up on the stairs up there and we were having a talk. He said our brain is driven by 1,000 forms of fear. Isn't that what it was? And we hate the word no. Correct? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of a lot of things.
And that's something that's been really running through my brain recently, especially with all this YouTube stuff and this video stuff, reading the comments. I've been living in a lot of fear as to like, what if those comments are true? What if what they're saying is something that I'm going to end up being or end up turning back into? I don't know. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, thank everybody for their shares. I really think it's kind of a funny meeting in the sense that we're all sort of pontificating based on like what one dude thought about another dude's words, and I think the human condition is like we just come in here not knowing anything, you know. And Sam teaches this meditation course where, like, as we are, we're good enough, you know. But like here I am, like, you know, I got BO from working with Billy, and I'm on Pat's couch wearing Pat's shirt and Pat's hat, and I'm like, man, when am I gonna get to be Johnny? Dude, like, at what point am I gonna have my own clothes, my own? And it's like, dude, all I had to do was go upstairs and shower and change. I just didn't have time. But I want to sound so good or look so good. And the truth is, we're all broken, flawed, frail creatures that are just protected by this thin dermis and epidermis of skin that like a bullet or a rock could go through really easily. And like underneath that, we're really just balls of white light and energy being created by like photosynthesis from the food we eat. Like you can even get smaller. We're just like quantum like particles of carbon just fucking around talking. Like, I don't even know why my vocal cords sound like this. They could sound like anything, but God made them sound like this. And so in knowing that, it's sort of freeing that like we're just practicing how to socialize. Like for all humankind is really just until we die, we're just practicing how to fucking socialize. And then we die and it's over. You know what I'm saying? And like when you think about the Christ showing up, dude, like, okay, I mean, imagine like they say he spoke like all the movies they make him like this beta male, like blessed are the poor. Like, dude, you couldn't get around Levitical law without getting fed to lions and shit. He lived in occupied like Palestine and Jerusalem where like Roman soldiers were like barbaric. You had to have a fuck off Levitical beard to even be a man. You couldn't be a bitch. So he was full on alpha male Jesus. They just like no one ever shows him like that in the movies. Like. I just think it'd be such a trip to actually see a dude who's half Holy Spirit, half human, walk around talking and not even tripping on like women or money or power or anything. Just like able to just get through the Sadducees and the Pharisees and conquer all these Levitical laws and still get like instant fucking fame forever for 2,000 years. He even said, my words will never die, and they still haven't died. Like we're reading his his book now, like at a treatment center, 2021 years later, and he had 12 followers. So I mean, that's just a trip.
Thanks, John.
John.
I know. Thanks, buddy.
Rudy, would you share?
I will share.
And then Tim.
So it's so funny. I mean, I kind of piggyback off of what Abby said, even though it was a while ago. I'm such an angry and resentful person to the point where, like, even my awareness of it doesn't aid it too much. To, like, I was writing my words that I got assigned at dinner. I have 8,500 words that I have to write, that I get to write. And the first sentence is, I am a honest, confrontational bitch. And I realized that, like, the whole first page of my words are just me justifying my shitty behavior and being like, well, this is why I did this, and this is why this is fucked up, and like, but my plan for it was to get all of that out and then write how my thinking is just completely skewed and wrong. And what I wrote in it was, I think blank, 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 blank. I think this person is doing this. This is how this makes me feel. And in the following pages, I'm going to write about how I shouldn't be thinking anyway. Because everything I think is wrong. Because I'm so early in sobriety and I need to truly just like surrender my will, surrender what I think I deserve or what I don't think I deserve, accept the consequences, whether I think they're valid or not. And try to let this program shape me in the way that it's intended to, instead of taking such pride in being a resentful person. That's all.
Sort of forgot what I was going to say, but
Sorry.
No, not at all. I was happy to hear from you.
Oh.
If somebody, I'll talk about this. I don't even know if we read it or somebody just said it. Like don't run from evil. Like walk into what it. I think it's important to hit everything head on, because it could be as simple as just like an email or bad news you're trying to give to somebody, but you're just avoiding it, and just it's such a relief when you just face it. I'm thinking evil is just like problems. Like running from your problems is never the move, because they don't just go away. They just compound, or if they don't get worse, and it's like simplest form, they still just consume thought time and everything. So on the days where I'm just like, fuck it, whether it's my emails, just like I'm replying to everything no matter what it is. I don't care if it's bad news, good news, whatever. You just hammer it. There's just nothing better than after, like, it's never as bad as you think it is, to just like hit it, face it, make the call, do it. It's just like, it's so much worse when you let it linger. I'm trying to do that lately. It's just like, if I just even think about it, just do it. And not like make the like, oh, it's 8 p.m. They're like eating dinner. Let's fucking go. You know? It feels better just to like get it off the plate. Then you can get creative and do all the shit that you want to do without some shit lingering over you. And it was let me see, there's a spider. Dang.
Burger.
If he's outside, he's living, but inside, you gotta just take care of those fools. That's it. I was like trying to think if this was right or wrong. It was kind of like the same evil thing. Like, you're like, don't run away from the bar, go in. Like, kind of was like this weekend because I've been newly sober and like I don't even know if it was a good idea or a bad idea, but my experience, you know, I went to a place this weekend with people, you know, it was a very, very wild place. A bunch of people doing wild stuff and wild things going on. And I'm like, I'm just not scared of that. And ended up with a positive outcome and even like sort of like hits some extra positive reasons to stay sober. You see the other side, being the spectator. I think there was a lot of positives that came out of it. I don't know if it was right or wrong. You kind of switched it on me. But I don't know. Again, I think it's just facing stuff, not running from it. At least for me, it's seeing what's up. I don't know if that's right for everybody in that situation I had this weekend, but don't run. That's it.
Thanks, Tim.
I'd like to piggyback on that a little bit. You say resist not evil, but it all depends on my conception of what evil is. This world is evil if you really put your mind to it, but it could be a good place depending on how you think. If I was really to be resisting evil, I'd have to stay at home all day. I couldn't step outside. I'd have to put my phone away, not watch TV, everything. Resisting evil. I wouldn't be able to do shit, which blocks my ability to learn from situations. If I had to stay home and, you know, cower away in my house resisting evil, it wouldn't give me the ability to live and learn, you know? So I kind of have to, like he said, face the evil head on, not go into it like be evil or anything. But I forget who used to say this in prime time, and I've heard other people say it too. Take life and use it as an experience. The bad situation can be an experience to learn in that moment and teach me how to live a better way. And even to look at myself. I could look at a situation that I may think is evil or wrong and turn it back on myself and use it as an experience of what not to do going forward in my life. I think life gives us lessons like that too sometimes. To see an example of how not to live. If I look at evil and see how evil is going on, I could see that as an experience of how not to live in the future and moving forward. So it is good to see bad things. If I'm using my mind right, you know, and how my mind thinks what bad or good is. Some people think evil is necessary. You talk to Satanists and shit like that, they see it as the thing to do, you know? Depends on how you take life on and how you think, you know? That's all I got.
Thanks,
It's
Paul.
8:47.
Yeah, that's why it says resist not.
Yeah, but what are they talking about evil in the first place? I mean, what is that mean?
Well, they're saying resist not. It's like what Sam was saying.
They're talking about evil because evil exists whether you engage or disengage or lean in or resist not. It's going to be there. But your reaction is where the choice lies.
Basically, don't resist anything.
Right.
But they're just saying evil because different people have different perception of what evil is.
All right, we got 5 more minutes, and then we're gonna go into everyone can just free for all. But sir, would you mind sharing with us?
Oh yeah, sure. I'm Joe. I'm an alcoholic.
Hey Joe.
Yeah, thanks for having us here tonight. It's been awesome to hear all you guys' shares and to read a little bit out of this book. I've never heard this book before, so it's always cool to read from a new piece of literature. Yeah, I'm kind of going through like a little bit of a weird thing right now. I went to treatment, I went to rehab, and I went to sober living after, and then I moved out of sober living, got an apartment with a buddy of mine from the sober living and one of our other friends, and my buddy that I moved out with is getting high right now. And it sucks. It sucks so much.
Fucking Clubhouse.
It sucks so much. It's like this kid was like we became so close because you like the people that you get sober with, there's like a very strong bond, and like we've had some like super deep conversations, and it's like I've told this kid stuff that I've like haven't even told like therapists, so we just became like super tight, and it just sucks. Like over the last month, it's like this kid's not even, he's just a completely different person, and that's just what happens, like I know that happens to me. Like I'm like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type addict. Like I'm one person when I'm sober, and I turn into this complete like Tasmanian devil demon when I'm getting high. And that's not like exactly what's happening to him, but he's just like this like shell of a human. Like can't even talk. Like texting him is just like these random like jumbled up words. And it's like no text message he sends makes sense. And it's just like crazy how fast like he just has become this completely different person. It's like I haven't even hung out with my homie in like a month, like a little over a month. And it's just like it sucks. And it's been like weird because it's like you would think almost like that. At least I would think that like I would want to get high, like living with someone that's getting high, but he's just made it look like so unattractive. And it's just like every day I'm just like grateful that I'm sober and like clear headed and not like I don't like look like him. Like today I came home, I went to the gym, I came home, and he was just like up all night, and I just like said to him, I was like, bro, like I just want you to like look in the mirror right now. Like you look like shit. Like I want you to like look in the mirror and like, do you see like what I see? But I guess like when you're getting high, you just don't even really see it. You just like kind of think you look good in like a weird way. And it's like it's crazy, There's just like so many different delusions. And last night, Jordan came over and we did an intervention on him, and we were just like, bro, like this is you either have to go to treatment or you need to find a new place to live. And he's just like trying to deflect. Like every time someone like comes at him with something, he's trying to deflect. And he like just got this new job that he's like worked really hard to get. And it's like I get it, I understand, but it's like it doesn't fucking matter, dude. Like you're like he's taking these like pressed Xanax bars, and it's like any one of these Xanax can have fentanyl in it and you can be dead. Like it doesn't matter that you just got a new job. Like go, like you need to go to treatment. And it's just crazy like the things that we'll come up with when we're like in active addiction to like stay getting high, basically. We'll just like think of any little thing to like as a reason, like an excuse to not go get help and not get sober. And it's just been I've never had to deal with this before. I've never lived with like I've had a little bit of sober time in the past. I've worked in treatment. I've had like clients that are getting high, and I've had to like confront them, and that's like one thing. But I've never lived with someone like an equal, so to say, whatever. That like I can't really do that much. There's only so much that I can do, and it's definitely been an experience for sure.
It's been 4, but do you want to let him keep going?
No, that's all right. Yeah, thanks.
I'm sorry, Prosser. I only know you as Prosser, and I forget your first name.
Derek.
That's fine. Yeah, my name is Derek. I'm an alcoholic.
He doesn't have a first
Madonna. You know, mental non-resistance to me is just like acceptance. You know, if I'm feeling some sort of way about something, and I feed into that, antagonize it. You know, it's because I'm not just accepting things are exactly the way that they're supposed to be, or my perception is off. That's a big one because my perception is off quite a bit. But most of the time, it's just because I want to be in control and I want things to go my way, but they're exactly the way that they're supposed to be. So this just reminds me of, you know, just accepting God's will. I'm kind of like mental fog right now. I thought it'd be a good idea to stop taking like Lexapro, just like I don't know why. I just like thought that would be cool, you know.
Did you just like
And I
stop?
just like stopped. Yeah.
No, don't do that.
I did.
Don't do
And I
that.
felt great for like
Does
a
your
couple
head
days.
feel like it's in a bubble?
Yeah, I have these like little like electronic
The
zaps
brain
in my
zaps.
brain. Yeah, it's crazy.
Fuck that.
But I was like, you know, it's Lexapro. It's not like benzos or heroin. You know, like how bad can it be? And it's not like that bad, but it's my mind's just like fucking all over the place. So maybe that wasn't the brightest idea.
Mm-mm.
It's interesting though, because I just came from a sober living where like they really beat it into me like you can't trust your own thinking, you know. And then it's like I don't ask a doctor or like run it by anyone. I'm just like, you know, maybe I don't need to take Lexapro anymore.
Did you not watch our horror film?
So yeah, that's where I'm at. That's all I got.
It's
All right.
8:55.
Thank you. Yeah, so we're running out of time. 3 people didn't get to share. If you folks want to share, just pipe in because we're just gonna go for it. Whoever, you know, chaos time. So, I mean, Wood, Ryan, and Sander didn't share. That's what I'm saying. And if you want to, just pipe in because we're out of time.
I'll go real quick, Ryan, addict.
Right.
It says antagonize any situation. When I was really fucked up and doing my shit and living fucking the way I wanted to live, I'd always have my friends were older, so they would always antagonize me to get in the fight, so we could all get in the fight. And I had that beating in my head that, you know, just every time you're at the bar, you know, it's time to get into a fight or let's just go to the bar to get into a fight. And learning to do that now is and not having those voices in the back of my head going, dude, just do it, just do it, just do it. It sucks. It's really hard because I'm always waiting for that okay to go just start something. But right now, I mean, obviously bars and all that shit aren't open, whatever. But even just in real life, you know, when I get put into a situation, you know, it's like I want to go handle it myself the way that the old me would have and confront the person. But now it's just like, go get the information first, figure out what the real truth is, and then go deal with the situation the right way. So that's, you know, last week I was put into 2 bad situations and, you know, I just did it that way. And it was like, whoa, fuck, that's gnarly. You know, you have no bad blood and nothing like that. So that's all I got to say on that.
Thanks, Ryan.
There's a Donna Kimmick on YouTube. She says, I have a question. I've been dreaming about using. Is that normal?
Yes.
Yeah. I still do.
Larry used to say dreams are relapses leaving you.
Free one.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what'd you say about the fear thing or the rage thing?
But it feels like taking control when you're powerless.
That was fire. That like really hit me. Powerlessness. And
being out of control are big ones for us, feeling out of control. When the truth is, we're never in control anyway. What about Woody?
Woody.
He's hiding up there.
Jordan.
Yeah, bro, it's been a gnarly 24 hours.
Gnarly month, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, last night just watching somebody that's just like wants to do it on their terms and is unwilling to do what it takes because like the drugs have a hold of them. It's gnarly. It's sad because it's somebody that I really care about. It's somebody that I know is talented and capable of living a good life. It's somebody that, you know, even though they had less time sober than me, I kind of looked up to at times. Somebody that I ran around with and went to meetings and I saw like give some people some hope, but it goes to show like how fast it can happen if you put all this to the side and you start relying on yourself. Yeah, and I'm just grateful. I was just meaning a lot about like fighting. I got nothing to fight right now. I'm just chilling. So I'm just grateful to be sober and grateful to be here. Thank you.
Thanks, Woody.
It's 9, Billy.
Sorry, everybody. We're gonna have to end the meeting. Sandra, would you take us out with the Lord's Prayer? Just, just.
I do not know the one that you guys
So,
do.
Just say Our Father.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do. Say that, Our Father. And stand up and say Our Father, and everyone else say. Well, you don't even have to say it. Just stand up and say Our Father, and everyone else will say it for you.
Holy Father, what?
I don't know. Let's do this.
Fucking
Plant design.
Our Father,
Who art in
heaven,
hallowed be
thy
name.
name.
Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive our trespasses against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever.
Amen.
Good stuff there, Sam. As always.
Anybody?
Can't wait to see your future.
Me neither.
If you speak like that, you probably write like that. Your character's really good.
That's right, kind of you said.
Hey, welcome, guys. Joe and Gabby. Hope to see you next week.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It is what it
So during the meeting, you said, I mean, I know like God made me perfect or like whatever. Just without some bullshit.
When everyone else says it, I just
Just keep doing it. Yeah.
Just, I don't know, this year's been really hard.
Right.
I think this whole year has been me in and out of it.
You've been living it the hard way.
Just hang around. And how to like,
just stay.
Yeah, I will.
Then it will come. You heard the thing about forgiveness lies and letting go of hope for a better past.
Yeah.
The struggle to forgive is about wishing things
It's about
like if I forgive, then they're definitely always gonna have been like.
I like that. I like that.
They're gonna have been like that either way. But the thing is, the past doesn't exist. It doesn't. We drag it around like a fucking sick family now. It doesn't exist.
He was like denying the world,
So,
give up everything. Anyone who wants to
right here, right
pick
now.
up his cross.
That's all there is.
Okay. Thank you.
Sometime soon I'm going to hear you say it without the whatever. It's coming.
Okay. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm like last night's meditation.
I'm basically going to say the same thing, spoiler alert, every Sunday because all of us, including me, need to keep being reminded.
Yeah, and it's just like I was meditating before I got here, and just like every time I sit up in a child, I just break down. Every time in meditation, smiling.
Right, but again, you probably feel like that inner child is fucking mad at you.
I'm disappointed. I feel like, like you said, I wanted things to be different. I expected an expectation that led, because I didn't reach it, now it's led to this like constant disappointment.
The battle changed the past only means you're laying the ground for your future to look exactly like the past.
ESV or KJV.